And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, August 10th, 2019. It is Season 13, Episode 29. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to the show. Matt is not here with us, but in his seat, replacing Matt, is Nate.
Howdy.
Or Matt wearing a Nate costume.
Pretty impressive.
Possibly. Well, he does do a lot of cosplay. Were you ever in Star Wars whatsoever?
No.
That it's probably the real you.
Yes. I mean, I like Star Wars, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were not Star Wars, you quit being lazy and showed up. That's true, Lethal Migraine. He's just not... Yeah.
Yes, because when I'm not here, it's because I'm just being lazy.
He's being lazy.
Just sitting on the couch eating Cheetos.
Hey, if you want to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228, 334-272-9228. Yeah, we took the phones off busy. You can check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can also find us on Facebook at InGameChat. And you can find us all over the internet at InGameChat. You can email us, everyone at ingamechat.net. Just comes out, it starts to make a rhythm, you know, InGameChat. We're streaming the cam feed right now on twitch.tv. Guess what? You go there and type in Game Chat. You will be able to find us and watch the show live while we broadcast. Join us in the chat room like everybody else is doing right now. And you can just chat away about whatever. About how I don't play video games. Or about how I only play one video game and never shut up talking about it.
True
or you can talk about video game violence, if that's what you want to talk about. Because I don't necessarily know that we're going to talk a lot about video game violence. And look, here, yeah, let me do this real quick, and I'll give the rundown here. There we go. Yeah, done. Here's the rundown on this, as far as how we're going to cover this. If you think a show about video games is going to come on the air and give a different opinion than what the obvious is, which is video games do not cause violence, then you're wrong. I feel like anybody who is listening to this show, people who listen to this show will probably have it on in the background, that sort of thing. They're not really paying much attention to it. They probably don't want to pay much attention to it. But anybody who actually does tune in to listen to this show likely feels exactly the same way that we feel, which is video games do not cause violence. Video games don't cause people to go around shooting each other, just like people who think, you know, if you get upset when people are saying we need to get rid of the guns, and you're like, well, it's not the gun's fault, it's the person's fault. Well, we're on the other side of that. It's not the video game's fault. You know, it's not caused by video games. So this is exactly where we sit on the subject. I don't necessarily think we need to go into I'm not going to sit here and pull out the stats, although I could. I could pull out plenty of studies that are done that where video game violence is not related to actual violence. I can give you plenty of stats and numbers and sources and things that you can look at. I can give you court rulings that say that video games do not cause it. I don't know, you know, I don't know how much more I can throw it out there to say that that's where it's at. That is exactly where it's at. And you're not going to change our mind on it because likely you believe the same thing we do in that regard. So I don't need to preach to the choir is basically what I'm saying. And that's why I don't... Originally, I planned to give it some time and discuss it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized, well, who's listening to this show? Who's going to listen to this show? You're just preaching to the choir, essentially, is what you're doing, if you go down that road. Now, if there's a few of you who, like I said, do keep this on just as a background noise type thing, if for whatever reason this has struck you as a conversation you want to have, well, the phones are open. 272-9228, 334-272-9228, if you want to go down that road of discussion. Just keep in mind, though, that not only do you have the power to just hang up the phone, so do I. And we also have the power to just dump your voice off the air completely. So it doesn't matter. And we don't even have to take calls if we don't want it. So that's the whole point. That's the whole thing, and that's as far as I'm really going to go with it. If you do want to get in touch with us, like I said, we have the phone number. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Nate is here. We haven't seen him in a few weeks, and I think we're going to jump over to him to find out what has been going on with him in the past few weeks, as far as what you've been playing, what you've been doing, how's it been going. Nate, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I like to take long walks on the beach.
Yeah?
I like to, I have
What?
playing World of Warcraft Classic.
I saw you pop up while I was playing that other game that I play.
Yep.
Because, we're on the same... By the way, that's not going to be that way for very much longer.
No,
right?
it's not.
I'm not going to be able to see when you're playing, other than Discord, I'm not going to be able to see when you're playing that game.
It's true.
Yeah, it's going away.
What will you ever do? I'm kidding.
Probably uninstall Battle.net, really.
It's true.
There's no other reason for me to have it.
It's funny. I saw your name pop up last night on Battle.net, and I've seen people I haven't seen in years pop up multiple times lately due to this weekend being the final stress test before Classic launches.
Oh, for WoW? Yeah.
And, I mean, at least 3 or 4 people I haven't talked to, maybe 3 or 4 years, going way back. I'm like, are you logging on to try to play Classic? Oh, yeah, absolutely. You playing on a server or whatever? So it's kind of funny already seeing, old people that I used to talk to. But anyway, so I've been playing that. The stress test this week was just up to level 15. It's all I do is play Horde, Tauren Warrior. So, went right back to just like the previous one. Love, being able to redo all of that. I've already seen people complain of, oh, this thing takes forever to drop. And it's like, yeah, it's classic WoW. Not great drop rates and such. But no, it's been super fun. I've already grouped up with a few friends, and like I said, we're going to start a clan and or guild and see where that goes.
You jumped into Destiny for a little while, not recently, but you did, I don't know, was it a year ago maybe?
No.
It's less than
Actually, I hopped on the other day.
But you really got gung-ho into it a couple of months or a few months back. I can't remember when.
And then I kind of felt like I was in the middle of that expansion. It's like Destiny's really hard when you're in the middle of one to kind of catch back up. And I know you guys are already doing stuff, so I was going to kind of wait and see.
Well, I was going to say they've kind of made that easy for you with the quest that will get you, I think, 50 levels below max.
Okay.
And so, if you're sitting at a 300 level thing, you can do a quest that'll bump you right up to 700.
I want to say I'm at what's max?
750.
I want to say I'm at 680.
Yeah, well, they've got quests, I think. Oh, I think 680 is probably as high as you can get right now, with the exception of doing the actual daily stuff. But that stuff will fly. You'll just run through it.
Because I just hopped on a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And
the point of the question I was going to get to was, are you going to jump onto the Steam whenever they move it?
Oh, I mean, I'll transfer everything over.
Yeah. Come back and play a little bit.
I don't know. We'll see how much.
Yeah, I know. It's understandable. It's not something that I'm thinking that you're going to do.
Well, with Classic, because they come out at the same time.
Nice little competition there. So, when does that come out?
27th.
Yeah, so they are the same time now. You're exactly right.
Blizzard always does that.
They do. They do. And it's perfectly fine. No. I wouldn't want to. Just like if something else was coming out and you're like, hey, you need to come out and try this. And I'm like, this releases then. I'm going to be stuck here doing this. And you can play to your strengths. Yeah. And which is exactly what I do. So
I mean, I know for sure. I don't know how much I'll play after 16, but I know I'll at least do one grind. Absolutely,
yeah, of course.
Go through that whole process. But I know, of real life people, I think we already have 13, 14 people that have already committed into doing one. So that's almost half a raid.
Yeah.
For a 40-man raid, and you only need 20 competent people to raid in vanilla.
Yeah.
20 can just kind of run around and hit walls.
Amazingly enough, in Destiny you only need 6, and we can't even pull that off.
Well,
we did pull off 3. 3 of our clanmates. We went and did a raid, and at some point this past week. Not this past week, but last week at some point, 3 members of the clan went off and did a raid again. I have no idea who it was, but we had the little reward waiting for us for a clan thing because somebody in the clan went off and did a raid, which was awesome.
I've heard this next one's supposed to be equivalent to when we all really played back on Destiny 1. Is that true?
You mean Shadowkeep?
Yeah.
The new expansion? Mm-hmm. I have no idea.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Okay.
I know they're implementing some armor changes to RPG it a lot more, so that the armor now will have a lot more stats. Right now, and I'll tell you how someone who's been playing for a long time. In fact, I think it's Random and I have an anniversary coming up, because I think it was around this time last year he and I first met randomly in trying to group up and do some grinding that we had to do, and started from there. But I will tell you, as somebody who plays Destiny a whole lot, when I get weapons, I look at how they rolled. I look at their stats. When I get gear, I do not pay any attention to it.
You just look at the big number. And
I'm like, is it higher than what I have? Okay, boom.
And that's always been the thing with Destiny. It's never really
the gear has never.
Well, it's been hard to min-max.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and then there's just some of the way that the gear rolls with like, oh, this one gives you more hand cannon ammo, or this gives you more blah blah blah. I mean, there's really with the advent of mods that you can attach to it. Right now, you can only attach one mod, some 2 or 3, but they're very specific on what you can do to most gear. You can, regardless of how the stats shake out, you can put whatever kind of mod you want on it. To give you, like, maybe you want your super to come back faster. Well, you can just stack a bunch of those mods, if you have them, onto each piece of gear. And so I'm guessing the armor rolls, and we won't know about this until this week. I think they're going to go into depth about
like a developer's letter.
Yeah, like a develop diary thing. They're going to go in depth on this.
I feel like 8 pages
this week. Oh yeah, no, he's writing a
novel.
He's writing a big book.
That's one of 2.
Yes. He's got a Luke Smith is who we're talking about.
Can barely write 1 page.
He's got something state of the game type stuff that he's writing here. And it's supposed to be released this week, but they're also doing like a dev diary, like a video.
Can you purchase like a hardback cover?
I did pick up a lore. I did pick up hardcover of the lore.
Oh,
there's volume 1 of the lore.
Okay, I've seen that
from D1.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to go into all of that, and I think that'll change how you look at gear. Weapons will still be the same. I'm still going to look at weapons and say, did this roll with is this better than what I currently have? But with gear, I never looked at something, is it better than what I have? I never cared.
So are you saying you're happy, mad, sad, glad?
I don't know. It's
indifferent.
I don't know how the armor mod thing, I don't know how Armor 2.0 is what they're calling it. I don't know how that's going to work.
Okay.
What I hope is that it's something that you can change on your own. So in other words, the mods you get, you can assign, and you can do this with, and you can change the stats the way you want to. What I don't want, we already have the grind for weapons that have rolls that we're trying to look for. We're all looking for, currently the meta right now is finding a high rate of fire grenade launcher with spike grenades. So that's currently, so every time you get a grenade launcher, you check it first to see if it has spike grenades. If it does, then you look from there out what else it has, and you're like, hey, that's a good one, I'm going to keep it. If I roll a cloak, if a cloak drops, I don't care, And so what I'm hoping for is that the weapons stay the same, which they will, still be grinding for specific loadouts of weapons and things. What I hope the gear does, I hope the gear doesn't turn it into like the weapons. I don't want to start micromanaging my gear either. If we can manipulate it ourselves, if we're the ones that add stats to it, take away stats, if we're doing this by stuff we have to purchase economy-wise or that comes from playing the game or something like that, I'm all for that. I'm better for that. I like that. I just don't want one more thing that, did I get a good roll of this one? Did I not get and then where it's luck of the draw if you get something. Because a lot of people when you go into LFGs, a lot of people are saying, hey, if you want to come run with this, you need to have this weapon, this weapon, this weapon. Because we're trying to get this done fast, and we're trying to get it done flawless, one phase, blah, blah, blah. So have this, this, and this. Well, if they start doing that with armor as well, then it's going to, again, I don't want to say it's limiting you, because there's plenty of people who will take whoever. But then it's like, you need to have this weapon, this weapon, this weapon, and your gear needs to have this mod, this mod, this mod to come and raid with us or do this with us because of what we're trying to do. So I just don't want another thing to add to the list of mark that off my list and blah, 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 unless I can manipulate it the way I want to.
It's just like, remember in D1, what was that rifle that
A rifle?
it didn't...
Scout rifle?
It may have been a scout. I can't remember. But remember, it was when you got it from the boss, or you had to collect things. I can't remember. But the last bullet never emptied. It just took damage.
The last bullet never emptied.
In D1, when we all raided together.
Yeah, the last bullet never emptied. It just took. Or was it an exotic?
Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember.
The last bullet, like the last bullet pulled from your health.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I remember that was, we even got to the point where we were requiring people if they wanted to jump with us. Like,
right,
please have that
yeah.
gun.
No, because we're like, this is the best way to do, this was the best way to do the sisters in the King's Fall. Yeah, it was the best way. We're
as
like,
long as Matt didn't have a glitch.
make sure your Titan's got bubble, make sure that, make sure your Titan has bubble, and then whatever. And then, of course, we do the, we would never let Matt run the ball, even though it was random who could do it.
He couldn't.
But if he ran, if he got selected, it's like, let's reset. So we'd all jump off the side of the ship, so that it would randomly find somebody else, and then you'd have to run the stacks and do the dunking and everything else. And I can't remember the name of that.
I was the one that always ran the.
You were better at it, yeah. I mained a Warlock on D1, and so Warlock was not fun for that run. Hunters were great.
It was great for me.
You ran a hunter, I thought.
No,
you ran Warlock.
I've only ever played a Warlock.
Yeah, I ran a main as a Warlock.
My ult was a hunter, and I started once I maxed out my Warlock.
Platforming as a Warlock is not fun.
You raided with us, right?
I played that one with that Taken King one.
Yeah.
Well, the sisters, I think. I ran
he did it as well. He did it as well.
That's right, because remember we got the achievement. All 6 guild members completed the raid.
Right, yeah. No, it was
5,
fantastic.
However many it was.
No, that was fantastic. Oh, man. I hope it gets back to that. That'd be great.
Real quick, the only other thing I've been playing, I mentioned in our chat the other day that I was going to pick up because it was $6. Prey.
Yeah, you did pick up Prey. Nice.
Stupid cheap.
There's a subreddit called Patient Gamers, and I would equivalent you to those.
I mean, I've always known about it, heard you guys talk about it, was never interested, and I was like...
Well, Patient Gamers basically is just people who are, they're not, I don't need to jump on it first, I can wait and pick it up at a sale or something like that. It's not necessarily a deals group, but it is a group where people come in late to the party of playing a game, and it's fun to watch that.
That's usually, I'm thinking that's going to be a trend later on. I mean, just the wait, not being there first day one. Wait a little while.
Yeah.
A lot of games I've picked up, like that God of War comes to mind. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. They drop to like in the $20 to $15 range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, when was the last time? See if you can figure it out. When was the last time? You probably know this. Right now I'm trying to knock my head here to figure out which one. When was the last time that you bought a game at release?
Oh. That's pretty common for me.
It's not been for me for a while now that I'm thinking
Mario
about it.
Level Maker.
Right?
I bought that one at release.
Bloodstained. Ritual of the Night. That's the last one I bought at release.
What did I buy at release recently? I
didn't buy, but I had the EA Premium. So I could play BF5 at release and Anthem at release.
Yeah. No, I need to... I have to exclude any kind of Destiny expansion. Yeah. Because obviously I picked that up as release because it's going, but now that I think about it, the last time I bought a game at release, I don't know what that was. I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free from doing the Google Stadia beta. So I didn't purchase that, and I didn't get the game until January. It came out in November. I got it in January. Yeah. That's a good what? When was the last time I bought a game?
Well,
out like dead on the day of release. Like, boom, I'm here and playing.
Had to have been a Steam game.
No, it was Spider-Man.
Oh.
It was Spider-Man in September.
Okay.
If it was a Steam game, it would have been like some indie thing. But I don't know. Now, if you go to my Steam library and like look at the games that I have there, keep in mind some of those are codes that were given to me by devs, so those aren't actually games I purchased. But actually going out and buying a game, it's got to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think maybe. I know God of War I bought opening day, release day. But yeah, it's bad. But back to the Prey.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. It just clicked for me.
My retail price for the cheap gamers, whatever you said the subreddit was called,
patient gamers. Yeah.
Patient gamers. Before tax, it was $6.50. Because I had the still have Gamers Club, which yours is until like what 2030 or something.
Best Buy Gamers Club Unlocked is 2032.
Oh, mine's February. It ends, which is why I'm just throwing in pre-orders. But yeah, so it's been fun. Totally reminds me of BioShock. Totally get that feel as soon as James said that's what it's like. Did you play it?
No.
Okay. It's real gear dependent.
So you get powers and everything like that, like in BioShock?
No. You just get like, like you can do, you can select like a hacking mod to hack things. Strength mod can move things to get in your other rooms.
So just abilities, really.
Somewhat abilities.
Okay, not powers, just abilities, really. Okay.
And then your guns do certain things. So like the first gun you get's the foam gun, and it hardens over the enemy. You can run up and start mailing them again.
I think they were talking about that. Y'all are having a lot of fun with that. When you got the foam gun in Prey, I think you and James were talking about having a lot of fun with that.
I guess I don't remember. Okay. That game's been out for a while. I think Division 2 might have been another one that I picked up at release.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I forgot about that. Wait.
I bought that at release.
Yeah, you know what? I did buy it because I got a free game with it, and that was Watch Dogs 2 from the PC thing. Same. Yeah. Okay.
Which I didn't pay full price for that either.
Nabokov's asking what Gamers Club Unlocked is. Basically, it was a thing where you buy into... It's a membership that you pay into.
You should have been like, sit down, Sonny.
Yeah, right. I kind of want to go through this whole thing. It was a membership that you paid into, and it got you, was it 15% off?
20.
20% off new titles?
And then 15 off used games?
Yeah, 20 off new, 15 off used, 10% back on a return.
I forgot about that.
Like when you trade it in, they gave you a 10% boost of whatever it's worth as far as credit. So...
Which store it was with now?
It was Best Buy.
Best Buy, yeah.
Yeah, it was always Best Buy.
Yeah.
And so that was cool because a new game to Best Buy is a game that has not yet... That is not used, is basically what that means. Yeah, so I could walk in there and buy Prey if they still have it on the shelf that's new, and I'm still getting 20% off whatever the price is.
It's I think you did the math one time. It sounded like basically what you could do is, get it new, play it a little bit, bring it back, and you were only out like maybe the price of renting it from a red box. Yeah,
it was about a $15 difference, maybe 10, something like that.
What was the game where I'm trying to look it up now? That really stunk. It only lasted like 5 hours.
Oh, that was The Order. 1860. Yeah.
That's where I got my best value. Because that was one of those games where you got the $10 credit. I beat it that day and then returned it, so I got $56 back or something like that.
Exactly.
But then I already had a $10 gift card, so they paid me $5.
Yeah. Right, a $60 game, you got $56 back, so a $4 difference. And normally what I would do is I'd take that back, get the credit, go to the aisle, get whatever new game was about to come out, and then buy that, take it home, play it, try and get as much time into it before a week ends up, before a week is done.
Yeah.
Then take it back, do it, and just kind of Best Buy became my Blockbuster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basically. And now Best Buy is apparently turning into my Blockbuster because it's leaving. It's going away. They're closing the store in town. Yeah. Or they're closing both stores. They're closing the location it's at here in town in October, and then they're actually just closing down the one that's in my hometown.
They're just closing in your area, and then they're moving the other one to East Chase.
Yeah, they're moving it down the road a little bit,
and that's
which
supposed
really
to be like
sucks.
A super.
It's supposed to be It's supposed to be Super Best Buy, Best Buy, Best Buy Big. Best Buy
what really sucks is my wife. Her parents live in Clanton, and
wow, they got to drive a ways.
Well, here's the thing: they closed 2 years ago. The one in Alabaster.
Really? I didn't know they closed the Alabaster store.
Because they wanted the property wanted a 15-year lease, and Best Buy was like, "We'll only sign a 10-year lease." That's apparently all they ever done, or something like that.
Wow, I didn't know they closed it.
They refused the lease, and they're like, "Oh, we're just going to leave." So they left the shopping center. So up in that area, your closest one is either Birmingham or East Chase. Those are the two closest Best Buys now.
Oh my God!
And the Birmingham's the Hoover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Hoover Best Buy or East Chase Best Buy.
Right. After the Prattville one gets shut down. Oh, my God.
Well, time for mail order.
I do not do mail orders for their steel
I know you don't
books.
trust it, but
I do not do mail orders for
your
their
option-
steel books.
well, at least you don't have to have two. Well, it's an inconvenient drive, but it's not like
Well, it's not. I'm at work. I can just, take a
Yeah.
lunch and drive over there and pick up whatever I need to pick up and drive back.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a problem. It was easier to leave work, stop by on the way to the house, and do it. Also, my Black Fridays are all screwed up now. Because normally I'd get brand new tech on Black Friday the night before, when they were doing their thing. Take it home, mess with it, and be like, I forgot to pick up this. I'll just run up there. I just run up to the store and come back with whatever I needed, like a cable or something like that, whatever I needed.
AKA, last Black Friday when me and Catherine ran into you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I was doing.
Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I forgot some things. I need to get this and this and this.
Exactly. All right. We got to take a break. Today we are featuring the music of Yoko Shimomura.
I thought you were going to say Yoko Ono.
No, Yoko Shimomura.
okay.
Shimomura. 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 Yoko has done a lot of stuff. We're going to go back to the early days of what she's done and some of the more recent things of what she's done, like this track right here from a game called Half Second Hero. This is the sequel, Half Second Hero 2. And no, not Yoko Ono. Everybody's using that one. God, no. You'll recognize her when I play some of the more, I don't want to say mainstream, but everybody knows the tracks. So anyway.
But not Yoko Ono.
You're right, yeah, but we'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from composer Yoko Shimomura from Super Mario RPG for the SNES. Are you not familiar with this artist? At all?
No.
Okay. Just curious.
Sounds like sounds like mostly Nintendo stuff she's worked on.
Half Second Hero, I think, is not Nintendo. I think that's... I don't know who that is. You might have to look that up. Hang on. I will. It's
Power of the internet.
Half Second Hero. Maybe it's Half a Minute Hero. What's PlayStation Portable is what Half Minute Hero was. Oh, maybe it's not half second. It's Half Minute Hero, and maybe that's what it is. Half Minute Hero 2. Yeah. Here we go. Half Minute Hero 2. That was published on PlayStation Portable and Windows. 2011 on that one. I don't know why I called it Half Second Hero. But yeah, that's what that was. So, anyway, welcome back to the show here. RJ, what have you played recently?
A little bit of Street Fighter V. They had the new characters come out for this season finally. Well, after it was leaked early.
Yeah.
Before Evo.
How was Evo for you, by the way?
It was nice. It was nice to see a lot of new faces in the top 8 for Street Fighter V. When I looked the fun out looking at that, it was very entertaining overall to me.
Sonic Fox still just a wonderful, wonderful player, competitor in that whole thing.
Man's got skills, man.
It's not just the skills.
Yeah, sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship was just amazing. He lost.
Yeah, he lost.
And was just insanely happy for the guy that won.
Yeah, Goichi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wonderful.
He was brought to tears winning that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was so happy for the guy that won. So
yeah.
No, he's great. He's great. Which I'm glad to see. Because so many times I keep reading about streamers who do stupid stuff on the internet. And just keeps leading to that credence of like video gamers are horrible people. At least the ones that make the news, I guess.
Yeah.
We should segue real quick into what RJ was talking about with streamers.
What?
With the guy with Take-Two.
What happened?
Oh, with the investigators who came to the dude's house.
Oh,
that
yeah,
story.
no. We have that story. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. We do have that story.
Yeah.
But go ahead, finish
Like I said,
with
with Street Fighter V, I was getting into the new characters they brought out for the game. I don't know what Capcom was waiting for, but E Honda was one of the characters they released.
Yep.
And E Honda was one of the characters who was in the original Street Fighter 2. And it always bugged me, and some other folks too, that every character in that game made it into Street Fighter 5 but him. And we didn't understand why. I mean, what was the problem? And so he finally makes it. And, we're pretty happy about that. Then they brought in Poison, another character.
the band?
Yeah. No, one of the characters from
band?
one of the characters from originally from Final Fight that was in previous Street Fighter titles. They brought her back, and then another Final Fight character they brought in was Lucia, which right now, from what I'm seeing and hearing, is the most popular of the 3 characters that they brought in. She's really combo heavy and can rack up a lot of hits in very, very little time, and she's got a lot of tools that can help her do some damage really quick. So I'm thinking people are having a lot of fun with her. So that's what's been going on with that. Played a little bit more of GTA Online, building up stats for my characters. And for some reason, I blew the dust off my PS3 and played The Simpsons. The Simpsons arcade game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about that thing with
Classic.
Yeah, thing with DuckTales being taken off digital shelf soon.
Yep.
So I looked at all my digital stuff and see about the stuff that I had on there, and I had the Simpsons arcade game, X-Men's arcade game, which I still have. A lot of classics in there that I'm fortunate to still have.
Yeah,
I'm
nostalgia.
thinking about it, but I need to back it up now.
Nostalgia bit me a little bit because I've been recently watching the new DuckTales from Disney.
I wasn't aware there was a new one.
Oh, there is. Not a game. This is show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, brand new.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's
by the way.
not bad.
It is fantastic.
It's not bad.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. It's like usually they take a new version of an older show and they're like, I don't know what y'all did, but
It's
this is
wonderul, man.
It's usually hot garbage.
Oh
yeah,
my
steaming
god!
hot pile of garbage. Usually, yeah, that's right.
And
But this is a good one then.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay.
It is. No, it's great. I wish I had brought my USB drive. I'd do a quick switch over for you, so you could have all of season 1 and half of season 2. But no, it's wonderful. And not only do they, they reach back and, of course, do some nostalgia moments, obviously, to be like, hey, remember this? Which normally I hate, but they're good enough at it to where it doesn't come off that way of, hey, remember this. There's still subtle nods to it as well. And there's a lot that is, and I think the original DuckTales was originally related to the Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck, the comic book. And a lot of this harkens back to that comic as well, right down to the clothes he wears. He's not doing the blue and red thing anymore. He's doing the black and red.
From the comic.
Which was in the comics. Yeah, exactly. The comics, right, yeah. It was in the comics. And so, and I mean, that's just a little subtle thing to it, but it's wonderful. It is fantastic. They've retconned some stuff, which is fine because the way they've done it is even better. And it was weird. I was on the Apple store last night, and I went to their old DuckTales page, and I went through seasons 1 through 4, was looking at the titles and everything else. And all the time, there were some of them that stuck out for me because they had been referenced again in some of the most recent episodes that I'd watched. And it felt like not only originally watching the episode from the new series just made me think, oh, that's a good time. But then when I went back and looked at some of the episode descriptions, like, wait, they just pulled it from this. This was already done. This is fantastic. I'd completely forgotten about this. So anyway, that was real good. But you should watch it. It's great. So I'd been watching that, and I heard they were pulling the DuckTales remastered from stores, or from digital stores.
Digital storefronts, won't have it anymore.
I already had it on PC.
Yeah.
Turns out I already had it on PlayStation because I guess it was either a PS Plus title.
It was.
Yeah, because I'm thinking I don't remember paying for it. Well, I didn't have it on the 360, which, whatever, dumb me. They had it on sale for $3. So I was like, sure, I'll buy that. It's whatever, because the nostalgia was biting me for the DuckTales stuff. So anyway, I picked it up there. But that game, the remastered, that's hard. It's a little difficult. It's a hard game. I remember when I got a copy of it, and I played it on PC, and I was like, this is harder than I remember. This is tough. And especially when I got to that boss fight, that was even worse. Yeah. That was tough. The final boss fight. Not just the final boss fight, but then there was a new mechanic added that wasn't in the original.
Okay, wasn't the original just him pogoing off his stick?
It is.
Bounce off enemies off the top. And
I'm mainly talking about the final boss.
Yeah.
Like the final boss, the whole mechanic is pretty much the same, except after you beat the boss in the original game, game over. You beat it. You won. Congratulations. In this one,
well, it pulls the Dark Souls, don't it?
Like all of a sudden, wherever you're at, I think you're in a volcano, it starts to erupt. And so now you've got to do platforming to race against the lava flow to get out of the volcano or whatever it is that you're in. And that was a new mechanic I wasn't prepared for.
Can you super bounce?
I don't. I mean, you can pogo bounce. If that's what you're talking about.
Like usually something like that. If you have a pogo type attack, you hit. You bounce on top and you do a normal bounce off. But if you like hold jump, in a lot of the games I play, where you do something like that, you hold jump and they'll bounce a little higher than normal.
No, nothing like that. You could pogo off an enemy to get height.
Yeah.
That's how you would, I guess, super bounce is what you're saying, if you pogoed off of an enemy. But no, that last little bit was really tough. But a great game overall. So
let me guess, if you fail to beat the lava, you have to start that boss fight over again?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I know that it was tough regardless. Like they really wanted to remind you of, hey, this is from back in the days when games were tough.
Yeah.
Back in the days when you really couldn't, although they allow you to save, but it's still one of those things where it's like, tough game.
Tough game that you couldn't save. You had to start over from scratch if you turn the system
off.
Like
I remember in my day when I had to pause the game and turn the monitor off and be like, well, I hope it's there tomorrow when I come home from school. Because I got to go to bed now, and hopefully it's there. I get up in the morning, tap the monitor on. Okay, good. It's still there. Tap it off, go to school, come home, sit down and start playing again.
The game that sticks out to me in that situation was X-Men on the Sega Genesis. They had that little reset trick at the end.
Yeah.
That people were blowing up Sega's phones back in the day trying to figure out how to get past it. And if those of you don't remember, there was the last part of that game. You had to go to this stage where you were told to reset the computer. Okay? Now, you've been through 4 or 5 stages, hard stages of playing this game. You get to the end. You do everything you're supposed to do, and then you're told, reset the computer. Now, you're not thinking of getting up out your chair, walking to your console, hitting reset to go to the next stage. But that's what they wanted you to do. So, for months, Sega's phone lines were blowing up for people calling. Like, I've done everything I could. How am I supposed to get there? And they tell you, reset your system. And as soon as you get up there and reset the system, it goes into the last stage, which ticked a lot of folks off, mind you.
Yeah.
It was a nice little trick, but not very appreciative because no one is thinking of getting up after all that work and just hitting reset at a critical point in the game.
You just made me think of the only time I really had to do that, Scott, is leave my PS2 on was when I lost my memory card from my PS2.
Oh.
And I knew it was in my room somewhere, but I was borrowing Metal Gear Solid 2 from a friend and I wanted to beat it. It's summertime.
Yeah.
So I just left my PS2 on for about 2.5 weeks and just slowly kept progressing through beat the whole game. Never cut my PS2 off. Still have a PS2, still works. Great.
Good.
And finally found the memory card, but yeah.
Built to last.
I beat it through one whole session.
One playthrough.
Never saved.
Wow.
I'll always remember that.
I think it was the coolest thing. EA had lithium batteries built into their Sega Genesis cartridges for NHL 94. I think NHL 94. So you could actually save a season progression during that time. I thought it was such a cool thing to have. So real convenient. Yeah.
It's a good little bit of nostalgia. Hate they removed it, but I know it's something about rights. Likely it's going to be popped right back on there.
Disney will find a way to sell it again somewhere.
Well, the other thing is that
they're going to have a video gaming streaming service.
The Disney Afternoon Collection is still available, and that has the original on there, along with
which is
Rescue Rangers and Tailspin.
Which is on sale right now on PSN.
It's on sale as well, but that still has the original on there. I can't think that the remaster is going to have... Obviously, I know that when they did the remaster, they had to get all the voice actors back in. They redid the song, they redid the opening theme, had lyrics and everything else.
$7 right now.
What is?
Disney Afternoon Collection on PSN.
I thought it was on sale for cheaper than that.
It was $19.99. Now it's $6.99. The Disney Afternoon Collection?
Yeah.
Capcom USA?
Are you logged in?
I'm looking at PlayStation's...
No, but are you logged in?
No.
To see the PS Plus price?
Save an extra 10% with PS Plus.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably where that comes from.
Okay.
Because, I knew you could get it cheaper than that, so... what else? Anything else you played?
It's $5.
Yeah.
For PS
$5
Plus.
for PS Plus? Okay, yeah.
Play anything else?
There was a little bit of a Samurai Showdown. They brought
That's right.
Rimururu out. A new character came out for that. And they also brought out Cassandra for Soul Calibur 6. So you had that going on as well. A lot of new characters coming out, but coming out in piecemeal.
And they announced, what did I have? They announced new Guilty Gear next year.
Yeah, another a remade Guilty Gear.
And a new King of Fighters.
All we got was a logo, not much gameplay, but yeah, I'll probably be picking both of those up.
Yeah.
Especially Guilty Gear. It looks really good. There's hope Axel's in there. But speaking of which, for Samurai Showdown, another thing they're doing, the same thing again. With E Honda in Street Fighter V, we got the same thing going on with Genon in Samurai Showdown. We got all these characters coming out, but not him. All the characters are in this. All the characters from the original Samurai Showdown are in this new one, except Genon. So we're wondering where he's at.
I don't know if you know anything about it, but I noticed a tweet from Ed Boon about Mortal Kombat 11, and there was some like he wasn't going for sarcasm or funny or anything else. He just said something about he was apologizing because his hands were tied, but he wanted to confirm that you will be seeing more about such and such character coming to Mortal Kombat. I don't remember. It was all serious, but all the comments were saying, "Well, obviously this shows that it must be WB that's holding him back." You know, WB Games, Warner Brother Games, that are holding him back from being able to talk about it or something like that. And I can't remember what it was. I can't remember well, it's not that I can't remember. I didn't know anything about it. Yeah. I just looked at his tweet, and it looked like there was more to it than what he was saying. And I didn't know what the whole situation was. I thought maybe you did, but I wasn't,
I wasn't the only thing I know about MK was what they had Nightwolf coming out. Spawn, they were talking about.
Yeah, I think he wanted to have more about it, but that there was, I'd have to find the tweet. Mm-hmm. But that there was, he couldn't say anything because obviously Warner Brothers Games, the publisher, were telling him he couldn't do that. Mm-hmm. I guess they were setting it. Like, apparently gamers were demanding it. The fans were demanding it. Please let us know about these or when they're coming out or what they're doing or this sort of whole situation. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of people also responded and said, really, thanks for your candidness and your honesty of this. So I have no idea what the situation was with that. So, or how long ago that was, but yeah.
What was with the whole Metal Gear Solid thing with Evo?
They put Snake in there for something.
Someone put an image of Snake in
Tekken?
I think so. Yeah, something they put in there, and people blew up about it. And then David Hayter got in it.
Yeah, and he was like, never use
my
voice
like that again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I thought it was kind of funny, but then I saw him tweet, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, he's kind of pissed.
He meant serious business on that one, yeah.
Which I understand.
He was not happy.
Well, it was the whole video of it was from a fan.
It was unofficial.
Yeah, it was completely unofficial. So, but I understand his point because it was being somebody approved that. Somebody put together and approved that and had it run at a national competition.
Yeah. Evo's not a mom and pop shop,
right?
Type of event.
It's Evo.
So I still don't blame him for that. But at the same time, had that whole fan thing not gotten out, he'd have never known it had happened in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but apparently that was just a joke that Snake is not going to be in any fighting game or anything like that. So we're getting close to the top of the hour here. I'll do a real quick here's what I played type situation. Nothing but Destiny. Destiny 2, Destiny 2, Destiny 2. That's what I played. I've been raiding. Last night, I finally finished all that I was looking to do for Destiny 2 until October. Mm-hmm. I've got guns that I want. From what I understand, there's a couple of other meta things that I can work on, but they will not require the time that I have been devoting to this current grind. Mm-hmm. They will require time, and I will get there, but nothing like what I was doing. What I had been doing was going home every day, putting in an hour to 2 hours every night or more to grind for this gear, to get it on both characters that I had. Finally did that. Last night, me, random, another member of the clan, Shin, we ran through all the requirements that you have to go through to masterwork the gear, got it done, and I am done. For now, obviously. October, that'll change.
Yeah.
But for now, there is no, I've got to get home and start grinding again to do this. There are a few raid weapons that I want for a drop. Mm-hmm. So, that's like a once-a-week thing that I have to do. There's a couple of pinnacle weapons that you get from playing Crucible if you're good at doing something. That might be something I work on. I'm not really that concerned with it. For now, my chase is done. Mm-hmm. And I'm good. It felt amazing to be able to finish that, turn off the game, and think, I don't have to stay here until 1, 2 in the morning grinding out this thing of get to this level, then we'll stop. No. I'm stopped. I'm done.
So you got anything, while you're waiting for October, got anything else you wanted to
Of course,
play?
I got plenty to play.
What's the first thing that comes to mind that you want to play?
It is a toss-up between Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War.
I'm actually...
Where you at with Spider-Man?
Huh?
Where you at
I've finished Spider-Man. I'm still in the DLC, but I've sort of said, I'm okay.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but I'm actually trying to finish God of War 2.
Right? Yeah, I'm trying to get through. I stopped, both of those I stopped, and I really wanted to get back to.
I'm so close to.
And I never did, so that's what I want to do. And yeah, God of War and it's a toss-up between those two. It's probably going to end up being God of War, mainly because you're also playing it, and it's the most recent thing in my head to play. There's Assassin's Creed Odyssey that I haven't been touching because I've been buried with Destiny stuff. So maybe I'll jump into that. I think God of War is probably going to be it, just to get away from the computer for a while, so I can sit. I haven't played a console game in a good long while.
What's this, Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Since Spider-Man, yeah.
And Spider-Man was. When did I?
Which is on sale for $15.
Yeah, I know Spider-Man's cheap now. Spider-Man's. It's been a while since I played that. So.
Which I was going to buy that, but I didn't.
I mean, I may jump back into it just to see if the controls come back real nice, then yeah, I might do it. Right now, I remember where I left off. I can remember where I left off in all three of these games. Spider-Man, I'm in the second DLC. I'm about halfway through the second DLC. I'm at a part where you have to do these stupid things for this girl who does she's a villain. She does a bunch of social media. I don't want to call her Speedball, but it's something like that.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying she was.
I can't remember what she's called, but in order to get the trophies for everything she asks you to do, you have to do certain things within a certain amount of time. Now, I could just burn through it and not worry about it, but that's not the kind of gamer I am. I'm more of a completionist in that way. So that's where I've stopped with Spider-Man. With God of War, I remember I have met...
Screwball?
Screwball's the name. Yeah. Speedball.
Speedball's the Marvel character. Yeah.
In God of War...
Robbie Baldwin.
Yeah, in God of War, I've met the brother of your... Like, when you're going through the game, you meet a guy who's like, yeah, I can upgrade your gear, no problem. I can do a thing.
Oh, the Iron.
Yeah. Well, apparently I've met his brother.
That's where you're at?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how far back I am.
Oh, okay. You're not...
Yeah, I know.
I would say that's maybe 35, 40%.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe.
Well...
I feel like...
Don't feel bad. I haven't even started.
I feel like I'm maybe 75, 80%.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at for
Real
that
quick,
one.
before we get a break, I was going to say about Spider-Man. I was going to pick it up because it was really cheap with Best Buy and the Gamer Club, too.
Is it 15 with Gamer Club or no? It would go lower if you
I
get
think
it?
it was lower than that.
Okay.
But...
$10, man.
I knew it wasn't going to come with the DLC.
Right.
And I knew I would probably like to play with the DLC eventually.
Well, we're about to hit the year anniversary.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. And Black Friday coming, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna hold off.
Ooh, you're hitting that Black Friday mark early.
Oh man, but that's what I have so much other stuff to play that there's no point in me buying.
I usually don't hit the Black Friday mark until October.
But there's no point in me buying it. Is what I'm getting at.
Right, I understand.
I wouldn't touch that for another 2 months.
Yeah, I understand.
And you can be patient.
Patient gamers.
Yeah.
The Horizon Zero Dawn, I am at one of those temples you go into. I think they show up as triangles on the map. They're like pyramids.
I beat the base game,
Yeah.
but that was before any DLC ever came out, so I've never played the DLC of that game.
Well, I was going into the pyramid because you were getting. I think there's certain, once you beat that, there's certain upgradable points you get from beating that I need to do some upgrades with or something like that. I can't remember. And I'm at a fight with this thing, and that's where I left off. I could never beat the thing. I couldn't figure out how to beat the thing. I got close to beating it, and then I just got so frustrated I stopped, and I never went back. Unfortunately, my save is in there, and I can't leave there until I finish that.
Yeah.
There's no backing out. So
it's like the first boss, basically.
I don't know that it's a first boss. It's more like this is like a challenge room that you're in, and I have to beat the boss in the challenge room.
Yeah.
It's an optional objective,
Okay.
but I took it. Now I can't get out of it.
Gotcha.
So I may have a save that's like before then that I may load up instead, because my controller memory is horrible on that game. It's been forever.
It's a great game, though.
So
that's partly also why I'm so excited for Death Stranding.
yeah.
Same engine.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we will have more in-game chat. We're featuring the music of Yoko Shimomura. And we've already heard from Half Minute Hero 2. We already heard from Super Mario RPG. Now we're going to hear from a game called Heroes of Mana. Not exactly sure. Somebody obviously is going to know what this is, but Heroes of Mana, it's very familiar to me. But so we'll be right back with more in-game chat right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music going back to Game Boy days. Gargoyle's Quest is the name of this track. Well, it's the name of the game this track is from. Yoko Shimomura is the composer for it. She's been around for a while doing video games. To go back that far to Game Boy for that. We've got a NES track coming up next, and a tie-in that I'll tell you about before we get to that.
That game came out in 1990.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have you look up another one here.
Okay.
Not yet, but when we go to the next break. So, oh goodness, what were we going to talk about here?
Did you talk about that streamer?
Oh yeah, well, we did talk about Ninja. He's doing pretty good over on Mixer, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He already hit like 1 million views or 1 million subscribers or something like that. He's already done fantastic over there.
Is anybody surprised?
I can't stand him.
I've never really watched him at all. I've only watched him when he shows up in my news feeds for doing something stupid. In fact, that's the only time I've ever watched any streamer, is when they do something stupid and some of my news sites catch up to like, oh, here's what happened to this person.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, let me say not all streamers are like that. There was, and I hate to relate it back to Destiny again, but, well, they did like Destiny Con or Guardian Con or whatever it's called, a convention. And so some streamers did a fundraiser and said, we're going to stream, it's a streamathon or whatever, and people donated money to him, and all of the money went to Bungie's charity of choice that they have, which I think is the Children's Hospital. I think that's what that is. Children's Miracle Network, maybe. I think that's usually theirs. Or what are you looking it up right now? What's their charity? Bungie's charity. You got it yet? Bungie Foundation. Maybe it's the Bungie Foundation then. Yeah, the Bungie Foundation provides pediatric patients with age-appropriate and therapeutic entertainment for distraction, play, and a sense of normalcy during distressing situations. They have grown and will continue to grow their program into children's hospitals across the United States to reach more children in need of emotional support. Raised over $1 million for the Bungie Foundation. And so, yeah, there's streamers out there, and there's probably a whole lot more that do a lot of good that nobody talks about because the dumpster fires are getting in the way.
Yeah. Well, dumpster fires moves the needle.
Well, it does, but it also lets me know which ones to definitely stay away from. So, yeah. So there was that.
It's like news. Bad news gets ratings. Good news is like, meh, doesn't do anything for you.
Hey, did you see where Death Stranding was removed from the PS4 exclusive list?
Yeah.
What did I haven't read. I have that marked down here, but I never read into it. I figured you probably did.
I mean, I saw people talking about the subreddit. They've asked. Sony has said it's theirs. It's not anyone else.
It probably is for the amount of money they probably put into it.
Yeah, they didn't directly say that it's. I can't remember the exact wording of what they said, but they were saying it's a PlayStation game. But everyone's been freaking out about the wordage of how it's labeled. But from everything I understood, that it was just nothing.
Yeah. No, so the other...
However, I don't really know why it matters.
I don't either. Is the game coming out? Am I going to get it? That's all really I care about.
If it's not a PS4 exclusive, I can't buy it.
Right. Some people go nuts over that.
I mean, I'm going to only play it on PS4, but I don't really care if it goes... The thing is people are convinced it's going to come to PC. That's what people are convinced of. Which there's a few things that do kind of point towards it.
Yeah.
But even if it did, it would be a while. So,
yeah, later. Much later.
And I would have already beaten it. So,
So here's the other story on another streamer, and I'm just going to read the article here from Kotaku. After 2 weeks of no uploads, a notable Borderlands personality on YouTube returned to the platform yesterday. This was written on Wednesday, so this would have been Tuesday. To the platform yesterday with a video explaining his absence. He said that the game's publisher, Take-Two Interactive, hit his channel with several copyright strikes. Then they sent investigators to his home in response to months of Borderlands coverage on his channel, which included leaks about upcoming games in the series. Since I've had time to reflect on the situation, I'd say excitement got the better of my judgment, said Matt Summers, who's been posting Borderlands videos on YouTube since 2015. It was a bit of a bad thing to do. I'm inserting the word bad where something else is there. Take-Two subsidiary 2K Games, however, said that YouTubers' actions were sometimes illegal and harmful to the Borderlands community. The action we've taken is the result of a 10-month investigation and a history of this creator profiting from breaking our policies, leaking confidential information about our product, and infringing our copyrights. Not only were many of his actions illegal, but they were negatively impacting the experiences of other content creators and our fans in anticipation for the game. The company did not specify what it was that Summers did that they think broke the law. His videos include playthroughs of the Borderlands series, as well as tips, tricks, an in-depth history series that explores the lore of the game. For the last year, his channel has also been home to Borderlands 3 leaks and speculations, which he always attributed to either unnamed sources or the work of a community of fans digging through the Steam database, or SteamDB, a third-party data repository that shows the work being done behind the scenes to get games ready for a PC platform. Wherever he was getting his information from, he got a lot of things right, including details about the 4 new playable characters, the presence of a radiation element for guns, and the development of a Borderlands 2 add-on that would bridge the gap between that game and the sequel. His videos were sometimes exaggerated and speculative, such as when he would fill time between major announcements with videos discussing shoulder patch similarities and character balance without having played the game. Nevertheless, there's no arguing that he knew some good stuff about upcoming Borderlands content before it was officially announced. That's why when he took an extended break from uploading videos, the Borderlands community took notice. He went into great detail in his return video about what happened to him, his YouTube channel, and his Discord server. He claims that on July 25th, investigators showed up to his home in New Jersey, questioned him on behalf of the New York-based Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Borderlands publisher. He describes being tense due to strangers trespassing on his private property and regrets having spoken with them. He allegedly answered questions about his channel and various information he had previously reported on. Later on, he says he found the investigators and their private firm on LinkedIn with indications that they had been contracted by Take-Two. He explains he received some of his early Borderlands 3 information based on a mistake by the people making or promoting the game. In addition to the strikes against his YouTube channel, he says that his Discord server and his Discord account were terminated 20 minutes after the private investigators left. Explanation he got from an automated Discord email was that his account was involved in selling, promoting, or distributing cheats, hacks, or cracked accounts. He says no information was provided as to who was behind this shutdown and denies that anything of the sort ever took place in his Discord server. A rep for 2K Games, however, called the video incomplete and in some cases untrue. They noted that Take-Two and 2K take the security and confidentiality of trade secrets very seriously, adding that the company will take the necessary actions to defend against leaks and infringement of our intellectual property that not only potentially impact our business and partners, but more importantly may negatively impact the experiences of our fans and customers. That sounds like a bunch of crap. Since the release of the video, Summers' experience has made the rounds on social media with the Boycott Borderlands 3 hashtag trending on Twitter. For his part, he doesn't know where his future with Borderlands franchise lies after the incident. Going forward, where are we, he asks. I'm absolutely on hiatus from making videos while I figure out what I want to do. My plan is to see how I feel come September. I don't know if I want to play Borderlands 3. I don't know if I want to make videos. I don't know where I'm going to be at. I want to give myself time to decompress. I just need to step away from Borderlands. This sounds horrible. This puts... I mean, I realize there's both sides to every story.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I can find is that Take-Two saw where he was leaking information, even though he is not an employee.
No.
And...
like you said, he got it from someone else's mistake.
Yeah. And they wanted to shut him up.
So did someone at Take-Two screw up, put something out there that shouldn't have been, and he just got wind of it and started streaming it? That sounds like
if that's where his source was coming from.
Yeah, that's
sure.
where the source came from. Yeah, but I think we were talking about it earlier. Me and Nate. I think Take-Two has done this before. This is nothing new. They've done this before, investigations and things like that, because they do They do take that very seriously.
First off, just send a cease and desist with threatening legal action. Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then you have a cease and desist form that says, look, you didn't follow this. We're going to sue you now. Not, let's send investigators over there to crack down on you.
Like, I'm okay with them being annoyed or mad about it.
Of course.
But why
Nintendo does the same thing.
Would you go with this approach of all? Like, I think you have options A, B, and C. They chose F. It's like...
Think of well, they obviously
like skip steps, like you said. Cease and desist would normally be the first thing
I'm saying.
you do.
Like,
so
why go all the way?
They went straight to scorched earth. I guess I don't know. They just
but that's not even scorched earth. That's kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
why would you didn't think of legal actions? I don't know, probably would be cheaper, quicker.
Also, these are private investigators, which means they actually hold no legal.
I don't have to talk to you, like you said. He regrets talking to them.
Yeah,
he didn't.
He
have
totally
to
didn't have to talk to them. He
Yeah.
could have just slammed the door in their face and said, "Go away," or I'll call the police.
However, it makes me think of. Have you ever seen the guy on YouTube where all he does is just review things of like code and stuff in Steam for like Half-Life 3 and all that? No, that's all.
Oh yes, every day he uploads a new video.
Every day,
Yeah.
Which it gets so depressing sometimes watching it. But I'm thinking, if Steam ever got to that point, I mean, he's always posting, digging deep into code and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the comments of this article, and again, I understand there's two sides to every story, but reading this article, whether it's biased or not, I lean towards I lean in the YouTuber's favor on this, that this was done completely wrong, and I think everybody else in the comments are like, this actually turns me off from ever playing any of their games ever again. To support this kind of action.
Yeah. This brings up a topic that is making the rounds a lot lately about the abuse of the copyright system for YouTube. A lot of companies have been doing lately. A lot of people have been doing lately for the most frivolous little thing, and it takes so long. From what I'm told, it takes so long to combat that strike. And the time it takes you to get that strike taken off there, it can take months or weeks or months to get that video back up and running again. So if they want information withheld or taken off or out of public view, just throw a copyright strike in there, and there you go.
Unfortunately, because he kind of let them in and talked to them, I don't think he has any ground to stand on as far as putting legal action back towards them.
Yeah,
I doubt it,
because he kind of gave into it. But and I don't necessarily know that he would have, because if he had denied talking to them or denied them access, how much further would they have pushed?
Yeah. Cease and desist.
Well, that's fine too. A cease and desist would have been fine. Another thing would have been to crack down and be like, okay, look, we can't do anything, but you need to sign this NDA from anything that you may get further, or from what you've gotten so far to no longer talk about it, or we'll push further with legal action or something like that. I don't know. This feels over the top.
Well, my thing is just work with them. You could hit a market already with slipping.
That would be the other thing.
Of hey, look what I just got access to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some companies hate that type of stuff, which is fine. Just don't.
The optics on this is ridiculous.
It's just weird.
Yeah, the optics are
That's
horrible.
bad.
It's just weird.
It looks bad, man.
Next thing you know,
I remember a lot of comments where people talking about, I wish someone would send two. People were saying things like, I wish someone would send two investigators to my house for something like this. That would be, let's say they wanted to respond with violent action. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And I was going to tell you guys something I heard about Borderlands, but not anymore.
Yeah. In fact, the game itself, Borderlands.
There's a political joke in here, but I'm leaving that alone for right now.
Borderlands has always been to me about the characters, how interesting they were, and I've seen the 4 videos of all the characters they got available, and I'm really not interested in them really. I get the same feeling I did with Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel. A bunch of characters I couldn't really get into as I could with Borderlands and Borderlands 2. I could really get into those characters, but for the last 2, I couldn't really get into.
The interesting thing is that Borderlands now, again, with Destiny pushing back their release date of the new content to October, kind of leaves September open for me to maybe dig into Borderlands. But the more I hear about this, the less I actually have any desire to play it. play it on PC, but got to download it to Epic Game Store if I want to do that. It locks me in to playing with just people who have it on the Epic Game Store, rather than people who will have it on Steam like 3-6 months down the line, or how far it goes.
Yeah.
I could get it on console, but again, I'd rather have it on PC if I'm going to play it, just for the mouse and keyboard.
Better performance. Yeah.
The other part of that is they just keep showing more incidents where they are D-bags. And I don't feel like it's bad enough that Randy Pitchford doesn't have a great record when it comes to being a good guy. Yeah. Not that he's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
there's some things about him that are not good for him.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Look,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know, the flash drive that they found with stuff on it that shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stuff. Yes. Yeah. Well, before this whole thing blew up, I was going to be it was going to be a wait and see type mentality for me as well. It wasn't going to be a day one purchase. I mean, I was just going to sit back and wait on this one because, like I said, I got the same feeling. I'm getting the same feeling on this as I did with the pre-sequel. I mean, are these characters that are really going to be interesting enough for me to get into?
Odd thing is, I'm going to PAX, and just this past week, the schedule for PAX was released, and they have a Gearbox panel. As much as Randy's a D-bag, those panels, he usually, not always, but usually some free stuff is handed out. Things are given free. I remember one time, I think it was for Borderlands 2, everybody who was at the panel got a free copy of the game. At PAX. And now it's like, well, never miss a panel where Gearbox is there because you might get a free game out of it.
You're going to go there and it's just a USB drive.
Well, every single one I've been to since then ain't got a thing for free.
Yeah.
Every single one I've been to, nothing. They've stopped it.
And by the way, it better not be a USB drive.
It's only a 8 gig.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point.
Now, if you got called up on stage, because he likes to do magic, or Randy likes to do some magic tricks and stuff, if you got called up on stage, you'd always get something free out of whatever you got. But never again has he done the everybody look under your chairs. It's a new car. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
So
You ever seen the Key and Peele skit where he pulls the guy over? He's a cop doing magic tricks.
No.
It makes me think of that.
So yeah, it's
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
that one. I got to find that one.
I'll send it to you.
Not something I'm pleased about with that.
But
I don't know that I was on the Borderlands.
Back to Borderlands. I have zero interest in it.
Yeah.
I love
In
Borderlands. Yeah.
Not in 3? Okay.
No, I loved 1. Loved 2.
1 and 2, I love those two.
It's not that I have an issue.
Did you ever play the Telltale game?
No.
I never did either, but I heard good things.
Yeah. It just this. I don't know. Just it's one of those things. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll definitely buy it when it's on sale in the future.
Yeah, I think it all started for me with the pre-sequel. I mean, the pre-sequel was just hit me in the wrong way that made me just want to back off of everything Borderlands, everything that came after.
It was that other game that I wish had done well for them. That was very Borderlands-y, but not. It was still Gearbox. What was that? Battleborn.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the biggest mistake it made was going up against Overwatch.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And the lack of advertising from it compared to that game. I mean, my goodness, it was kind of one-sided. Even though it came out like a week earlier, I think. I think it came out a week earlier, but it still wasn't enough to come over that Blizzard onslaught. Good game, though. I mean, I played it. I had fun with it, but just didn't have the numbers, really.
I posted that video link.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of in-game chat here in just a little bit. We're going to go back to the music of Yoko Shimomura. I wanted you to look up a game.
Sure.
To tell me what year. Gargoyle's Quest, we said, was what year?
1990.
90.
May 2nd.
I think it's going to be around the same year. Look up, it's an NES game called Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. It was a Capcom release.
Is that Disney?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
1990.
Also 1990?
Yep.
She composed the music for that as well.
I remember this game.
I remember it as well. Interesting. Go ahead.
I wasn't born when it came out. Wasn't born.
You weren't born when it came out? Yeah, I know.
It's many years later.
Interestingly enough, after she composed Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, which was Disney-based, it's like you going around the different parts of the theme park and collecting stuff and moving on with it. she would get the chance to score Kingdom Hearts 3. And she did the music for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
Maybe some of because there's so many Kingdom Hearts out there, she may have done a few of the other ones, but I know she's on the soundtrack for 3. So here is music from the NES 1990.
One thing that's kind of funny, I'm looking at the release dates of that game. June 1990 for the U.S., Australia got it 92, and then the EU got it 93.
Interesting.
Jeez.
It's kind of weird how they...
That's a heck of a gap.
Well, Disney is very much a U.S. thing, especially the Magic Kingdom itself, Disney parks and stuff.
Sure.
Very much a U.S. thing, even though Capcom is very much a Japanese developer. Yeah. So...
It's just kind of weird how they...
I know.
Yeah, that 2-year gap.
We'll eventually. We'll eventually.
It'll get out there. Could be something with rights as well. I have no idea.
Probably is.
Here's music from the Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. Yoko Shimomura, the composer, will be back right after this. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from Parasite Eve. Why do you give that face?
One of those games I always intended to play,
but
never got around to. And the more I wait, the harder and harder it's going to be to pick it up.
Right. Well, yeah.
Came out in 98.
Yeah.
Squaresoft.
The track I picked for the closing track is really where it's like, oh wow, she did that. Okay. Anyway, let's jump right into the phones. We have Biloxi Gambler on the line. Hey man.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. We'll give you an update. I'm the old guy that I used to game way back in the day, and then I got a PS4 with Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's right.
Which is a game that I love, and I've completed it twice now.
We had one of the most hilarious calls from you when you were talking about that game. I don't know how long ago it was, but because something about your horse died, or I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, well, sometimes your horse dies. You got to move on.
It's like malaria or yellow fever or something. I can't remember what it was. It was hilarious, whatever it was.
Well, it was, and I like that it's got open-ended stuff. I'd asked y'all for some suggestions, and you gave me The Last of Us, Elite Dangerous, and the Uncharted collection.
Yeah.
And I got all three of those, and I've been picking at those some. The difference between those and the Red Dead Redemption, you always know where you're at, and you know what your goal is, and if you don't want to do a goal, it's kind of so open-ended.
Right, you can just pick one. Yeah, exactly.
And anyway, they're all great, they're all enjoyable, but of course, I was going, well, can I buy a game online? Is that even possible? And I said, well, okay, I'll get a game online. And that's what I want to tell you about. I got a game called The Game is the name of it. And it's a baseball game, and I have The Game 19, and it was like $60 or $69.
Is it called The Game or is it called The Show?
The Show. It's called the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, not the game. You're right. It's called the show. Well, that gets the other point I'm going to make. But anyway, so, yeah, that's how bad I am at it. But anyway, so I got the show, the 18, not 19, because it was like half price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I'm playing the career version of it, which is cool, Jay, because you can see I got drafted by the Braves, so I got to play for the Mississippi Braves, which means I got to play against the Biloxi Shuckers, and I got to play against the Montgomery Biscuits.
Exactly.
That was so much fun. What I do like about it is baseball's kind of boring. That's why you don't watch the whole game. You're just kind of in and out. And
don't ever tell Greg that.
Or you have a lot of beer. That helps too.
Well, yeah, you got to stand in line and get the draft beer at the Biscuits game.
Exactly.
And but you're only like I'm playing right field, and so I'll skip entire innings. Well, the video game doesn't even show me anything unless there's a ball going to be hit to right field, and then the same thing on hitting the ball. I don't see anybody else hit. It's just I'm always either up to bat or I'm in right field catching a ball or trying to. Okay, the thing is, I paid $30-$40 for the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got benched playing a video game. I mean, for several games, all they did was use me one time at bat as a designated hitter, which may be a strikeout or a single. That was it. But anyway, I love playing it, and it cut all the stuff out of it. And I'm gonna dovetail it and circle back around to the way you opened the show when we talk about violent video games and all that kind of stuff. The thing is, I love playing the baseball video game, but I have no intention whatsoever of going out and playing baseball ever.
Even more so now, right?
No. Well, no, I mean, it's just period. It's just not going to happen. Softball, baseball, or whatever. But I do enjoy it, and they're trying to throw a lot of blame in a lot of places that it doesn't belong when, really it comes down to some of the psychoactive drugs they're giving kids and parenting and all that kind of stuff. And actually, if any of these people, if you notice a lot of these mass shooters and stuff, when they do something like that, they end up they commit suicide. That's because they never shot nothing but paper in their life. If they'd ever killed a squirrel or a bird or a deer or something like that, they'd realize what comes out on the other side of the gun.
I opened the show. I don't know if you listened to the entire show, but I opened the show.
I do. I listen to every word. What are you talking about?
Well, no, I was just saying earlier in the show, I just said it's just preaching to the choir if I go in on this whole video game violence thing. Even though, and you know what, there was another story that we were going to talk about where Walmart stores have taken down video games, advertising violent video games in the stores and that sort of thing. They've taken that down.
Well, it wasn't limited to video games. It was limited to anything violent, like throughout the store.
Oh, it wasn't limited just to video games? It was anything violent?
It was like anything that portrayed violence or
any movies, like
games.
Yeah, like a Rambo movie or something.
Yeah. It wasn't limited to that, but yeah. Anything violent they wanted to remove from the
I thought it was just the displays.
Displays, yeah.
Just the displays. Not the actual
I'm okay.
product.
So I'm okay with that because obviously if you're just you're not removing the product's still over there for people to buy.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you remove the product for people to buy, I would have an issue.
Yeah.
But I also don't have an issue with them moving I don't think it's going to do anything, but they're also they're a private company. They can do what they want. It's their store, and they can move this policy down.
Yeah.
I completely understand it because now people in El Paso going back to that store probably don't want to see these things. Mm-hmm. Even though Walmart is probably the only place they have to go to get some of the things they need, and given what took place there, they probably don't want to do that.
They stated their policy was out of respect for the families of the victims who died in the shooting.
Like when it's issued that flags have to go at half staff, they don't just put it half staff in the place that it happened. It goes nationwide.
Right.
Walmart's a corporation that says, "Look, we're going to do it in one store. We're going to do it in all stores." Just remove it for the time being. It seems like it's probably a temporary thing, but I can understand why they're doing that, because people going into that store who just had a traumatic event probably don't want to see that stuff, or at least they're doing it out of respect to those people to not have that stuff there. Mm-hmm. I understand they're still going to sell guns, they're still going to sell violent video games, violent movies, And that, again, is fine. They're leaving it to, look, this is your choice to buy these or not.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people maybe there now who do want to own a gun for protection in this case. I do not know. But again, it's not just strictly, and I'm glad you brought that point up, that it's not strictly video games. Because that changes a viewpoint on that completely.
Just to clarify real quick, this was Vice got a hold of the actual memo.
Yeah.
And this is just
What was the memo?
This is just a snippet from the memo. It's
Yeah,
not the full memo.
what
but
is it?
It said it asked for employees to remove any signing or displays that contain violent images or aggressive behavior.
Okay.
So that's what the actual memo stated.
Yeah.
It never mentions video games or movies or anything, just anything.
But it's very broad, but anything violent or aggressive, get the displays out of sight.
Yeah.
Well, that caution wet floor thing they put out got a picture of a man slipping and falling.
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I listened to every word. See you later, bye.
Bye.
Take care now.
Horrible thing to laugh at. Horrible.
What? Someone slipping?
Just the way he was relating it, that's all.
I'll tell you something. You see someone slip, you're gonna laugh.
Yeah, I know. Just the way it was being related into the thing is not, just whatever. We're moving on. What are we going to talk about?
You won't think about that on the way home, ain't you?
No, not really. Not really. I try very hard not to think about the things I've said on the show after I leave.
Yeah, but you got to edit it afterwards.
I do. Well,
So you're going to hear it again.
No, I don't. I don't get to hear the whole thing, which is very thankful. I get to hear the beginning when I do the clip.
Yeah.
The clap, actually, and that's about all I really listen to.
Yeah. The thing we was talking about with the show. In the road to the show part, there's an option where you can only have your appearances. You can only play your appearances, or you can sit there and play through the entire game, ride the bench or whatever.
Yeah.
So there is that option there. So yeah,
I've actually that was a draw for me to buy the game.
Yeah.
I was watching somebody play it, and they were going through career mode, and I was like, "Ooh, you start! Oh, that was like a thing where it's like, ooh, that sort of interests me to actually play."
Based on how you play and everything, you can get benched or start every game in the minors. So yeah, actual teams. Yeah, the Shuckers, the Biscuits, of course, our local team. It's not.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not going to reflect the actual stadiums, actual local stadiums here, but a facsimile of it anyway.
Yeah, I'm reading a Blockhouse fans comment here where somebody responded, somebody who works at Walmart in their e-commerce division responded to the removal of the violent stuff, saying that is a non-answer and a non-solution. He's helped organize a petition to get the company to stop selling guns outright. He said they plan to email the petition, which has more than 53,000 signatures, to the Walmart CEO on Friday, which I guess is past Friday, maybe?
Probably.
Yesterday. Again, if they want to stop selling guns, that's completely up to them. And I have no problem. I have no problem with them doing that, only for the fact that the problem will come when if a company decides they're not going to sell an item, okay, that's your decision to make.
Yeah.
As a company, that is your decision to make. I can't hold you against that. It just means if I want that item that you are not selling, I will go elsewhere.
Yeah, the risk of sounding cynical. They're gonna the first and foremost thing as a business they're going to do is look at their bottom line.
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost them to make that decision?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
The problem will come. The problem comes when the government steps in.
Yeah.
And says, you can't sell this product anymore, and I can't buy it. If they do this with, especially if they crack down on any kind of violence, which I don't think the whole violent video game thing, I don't think it'll make any kind of traction. No. There's been too many studies. There's been Supreme Court rulings. There's been plenty of things saying it just ain't going to happen.
Video games right now is the modern day scapegoat right now. It's like rock and roll was back in the 50s when it first came out.
Kind of a good point there.
Yeah. So it's the current modern day scapegoat. If young people are doing something offhand,
that and drugs, or pot, basically.
Speaking of that, did you see Australia's removing Daisy?
Are they?
Not because it kills people or anything, but because it has.
This is Australia. Got some.
Because weed.
It has marijuana usage in the game,
and it heals you. So because it's a.
I did not know that was a.
Because it's a positive
Because it puts that in a positive light?
Wait. Weed heals in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's
they take it out.
interesting.
Okay,
So
so what about that? What about the herbs in Resident Evil?
It specifically
Herbs,
labels
yeah.
it as marijuana.
Yeah, herbs is not it's just call it an herb. You know,
herbs though.
it's not. But that's fine. It's not that you're not calling it what they deem the drug is.
Yeah,
so it's a different thing. Once you label it that, then it becomes something apparently the government can step in on.
So if they changed the name of it, it would have been fine.
Probably.
Yeah. Now, this is the same place that this is the same country that took out Bayonetta. Remember? Yeah. You banned the game, but you're the only country that sells the limited edition we wanted.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go
I'm just
figure.
reading some of the comments here in our chat room. It's moving. If this is a topic that it's not necessarily one I wanted to avoid, it's just that one that we've talked about this before. Sadly, we've had to talk about this before. Although I can tell you, we've been around doing the show long enough to
It's a tired argument.
talk to you when these scientific studies were released saying that there's no link, and when the Supreme Court ruled that it had nothing to do with any of it. So, I mean, we've been around long enough that we've had this discussion before. Go ahead.
It just says so that with DayZ. Back to that, it says
Right.
multiplayer zombie survival game DayZ has been banned from release in Australia due to the Australian Classification Board refusal to classify the title. The classification board refusing to give the title an age rating, which means it is unable to have a physical release in Australia, and it's due to they won't rename marijuana.
Wouldn't they? Isn't there? Doesn't Germany not allow them to sell like Wolfenstein because of the
they
Nazi
can
imagery?
sell it, but they've had to remove all the Nazi imagery.
Oh, they had to remove it. See, that's the same thing. DayZ should be able to sell it as long as they rename the thing to an herb.
So it looks like it can have the digital, just not a physical.
So
Well, that's interesting.
So what about about to say, what about importing it?
For a physical release?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, importing it.
But he's telling me that it's being sold digitally. Digitally is fine,
That's what it seems like.
but
it
you
was
can't buy it physically? That's interesting.
Huh.
I don't understand that.
I'm just thinking getting it imported. I mean, DayZ is on the PS4, right?
DayZ? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's on all console, or
So it's
console and PC.
Yeah, so they're region free, so get an import if you wanted that. If you wanted bad enough.
Yeah.
It's actually not even in the game yet. It's the cannabis isn't even in the game yet. It's just what they were going to add to it, but they're still not going to.
What?
So because they won't rate it, is why it won't be released.
Oh, that's okay. I understand that. Okay, now I get it. Well, that's odd though. So they're going to sell it digitally. Do games not have to be classified if they're digitally sold?
Oh, that part I haven't confirmed yet. That's what I was trying.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying the reason they won't sell the physical versions for sure is because
It didn't get a rating.
it won't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a rating, and that's because cannabis will be able to be used in the game, but not yet in the future.
Right. It's like if it's the way it kind of goes down the conveyor belt of approval.
Yeah.
One thing has to happen for the other thing to happen.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't happen, then the other one doesn't. So Australia will release games if they get certified. If they don't get certified, Australia doesn't release them. If a game doesn't get certified, yeah. I know.
So they're looking. The board is looking to have the game pulled digitally. It is available.
So they
at
are
the moment.
looking to pull it digitally. Okay.
Yeah, but it will not have a physical release. So
That
they
is
change
interesting. Okay. All right.
So watch the sales spike up.
it. I mean, it's just Australia.
Still,
I'm just kidding.
get it for it snatched off the digital marketplace.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, just like DuckTales.
new to me. That was interesting to find that out. I'm looking through the news here. Just trying to see if anything has come up while we've been doing the show.
STM Fuller just said just turn it into brownies and
Call it good. Yeah. Eat the brownies. It heals you.
Brownies with a special ingredient.
yes, with the herbs.
Yeah, I don't see any
Herbal brownies. There you go.
Don't see anything going on here.
Just call them edibles. Be fine with that.
Yeah. All right.
I did get into. I only played literally maybe 5 minutes of it, but so that closed. The Plants vs Zombies game, the other game that they're having.
Yeah. That release?
Yeah. Did you see that?
In a mobile release?
No, PS4.
Oh, Plants vs. Zombies?
Well, it's the other game.
What's the other game?
I don't know if
What am I missing?
It's their other Plants vs. Zombies game that's like a first-person shooter style. But
What's it
I
called?
can't talk about it.
Garden Warfare? No.
No.
Oh, you can't because you're under an NDA?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you can talk.
But I can say I played it.
Okay. What's the name of it?
Hold on.
Can you tell me that?
I don't remember the name of it now. It's not like I'd ever buy it. I just got into it because they sent me a thing if I'd like to play it.
Yeah. Anybody pick up anything on the summer sale for PSN?
Like I said, I haven't bought a game in forever.
PUBG.
Yeah.
My friend wanted to play PUBG, so Picnic.
Okay.
Picnic is what it was called.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a working title.
It's
Sounds
alpha.
like
It's alpha.
yeah,
It's something.
yeah.
Reason I asked is because I was picking up the free games that came out for August. Yeah, Wipeout and Sniper Elite 4. So I got those in the library now. But I was looking at my library. I got games in there I didn't know I picked up.
PUBG was for $15, and my friend wanted to play it on PS4, so I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. But I didn't realize I had $5 in PSN credit, so it only cost me $10.
Yeah, like I didn't know I picked up Dead by Daylight. Anybody play that?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
What was it, Friday the 13th? 'Cause that was free at one time at 1.2.
I mean, I had.
It's not Dead by Daylight. It was oh god, Dying Light.
Dying Light. You got?
Yeah.
That was free.
No. I picked it up. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
not. It
That's
wasn't
a great
free. I
game.
just the name confused me.
Yeah.
That was all. Just the name confused me. Made me think.
So the backlog's bigger than I thought it was because I got stuff like I said I didn't know I picked up.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap things up here. Get to my script here that says thank you, everybody. Oh, I closed it. Stupid. Thanks,
wait,
everybody, for joining us.
I was about to say, did you do a roll call today?
You know, I didn't do a roll call. I appreciate everybody joining us in the chat room here. I'll tell you who's in there. We have a list of AC Wraith, Angel of Light. Yeah. Commander Root, Evan04111. Green Sticky Stuff. Just Lethal Migraine, Lurks, Nabokov fan, who I haven't seen in forever, dude. Thanks for
Welcome
for
back.
showing
It's
up.
been a while, man.
Appreciate it. Retrode, S1, Faka, Stephen Van Dam, STM Fuller, Thar66, VNK, and Virgo Pros hanging out in the chat room again. Thank you all for joining us. You guys have a fantastic week. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and Twitch channel. Download us on iTunes and everywhere else you get that. Join our Discord as well. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Saturday. We leave here with a track from Yoko Shimomura. It is pretty obvious what the track is. Yeah. Exactly. It's Street Fighter II, The World Warrior. Kin's theme, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. She composed that.
Yep.
For the arcade. So she's got a great lineup of games that she scored. And she got some good scores with them as well.
Good resume.
You guys have a great one. We'll see
I'd
you
hire
next. Yeah. We'll see you next Saturday.